Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're jumping headfirst into the wild world of crypto in India. You've probably heard all about the massive opportunities, right? But what about the incredible risks? We're going to break down what's really happening on the ground.
Alright, so here's the game plan. First up, we're going to talk about the dangerous side of things. I'm talking about the scams that have cost people crores. Then, we'll get into the epic legal battle that basically changed everything. After that, we'll look at the rules today, the taxes, the laws, the whole shebang. We'll even check out a new company that's making waves. And we'll wrap it all up by tackling that huge question. Should you invest or should you just stay away?
Okay, so first things first. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the dark side of crypto. You know, this is the stuff you don't always see in the headlines, but it's affecting thousands and thousands of real people.
Just look at that number, 623 crore rupees. That's not a typo. Between 2022 and 2023, that's the amount of money government reports say that people in India lost to crypto scams. We're talking over 2,800 victims scammed through both Indian and foreign exchanges. It's a staggering amount of money, and it really shows you how serious this problem has become.
And you know what's really scary? It's how simple and effective the whole scam is. So it starts with some fake trading app you see on social media, right? It's promising these insane, unbelievable returns. So you think, hey, I'm investing. But the second your money is in, boom, the scammers convert it to crypto. And then, poof, they bounce it through a whole chain of anonymous wallets, which makes it pretty much impossible for the police to ever track it down.
So you see, this isn't really a tech problem. It's a human psychology problem. These scammers are masters at exploiting that little voice in our head that wants to get rich and get rich fast. They'll show you these fake charts where a tiny investment suddenly blows up into a huge profit in like minutes. And what do? We see that potential upside and we ignore the massive, almost guaranteed risk. It's a classic trap, and it works because it taps right into our own psychology.
Okay, so with all these scams happening and the market being a total Wild West, you just knew the authorities had to do something. But what they did, well, it kicked off this huge legal showdown, a battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows you how crazy things have been. Back in 2018, the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, just drops this bombshell, a circular that basically told all banks you can't deal with crypto. And just like that, overnight, the entire industry was cut off from the banking system. Exchanges had to shut down. It was huge. But then, fast forward to 2020, and the Supreme Court comes in and flips the whole thing on its head.
You can really see the two sides of the argument here. In one corner, you had the RBI. They were saying, hey, crypto is a massive threat. It's used for money laundering, terror financing, and we have to protect India's financial system. But in the other corner, you had the crypto industry saying, hold on a second. This ban violates our fundamental right to trade. And besides, there's no law that even says crypto is illegal. So what are you even banning?
And this is where it gets really interesting. The Supreme Court's whole decision came down to this one legal idea, the doctrine of proportionality. Basically, the court said, look, RBI, you have powers, but they aren't unlimited. The RBI just couldn't show any real concrete proof that crypto exchanges were actually hurting the financial system. So the court decided that a total, complete ban was, well, it was overkill. It was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. It was a disproportionate response.
So after all that legal drama, where do things stand now? That Supreme Court decision didn't suddenly make Bitcoin legal money or anything, but it did push things away from an outright ban and towards a new world of, you guessed it, regulation and taxes. So let's break down what the rules actually are today.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. Trading crypto in India? Not illegal. You can absolutely buy it, sell it, and hold it as an asset. But, and this is a big but, it is not legal tender. You can't go buy your coffee with it. And then there are the taxes. Oh boy, are there taxes. You're looking at a flat 30% tax on any profits. And get this, if you lose money on one crypto, you can't use that loss to lower the tax on your gains from another one. Plus, there's a 1% tax, called TDS, on every single transaction. And on top of all that, exchanges now have to follow the same money laundering laws as banks. Now, you might think all these rules would scare companies away, right? Not really. New players are still jumping into the market. They're just coming up with new ways to get users on board in this new regulated world. So let's take a look at one of them, a company called INTELINK, as a kind of case study. So what are platforms like INTELINK doing? Well, they're trying to tackle one of the biggest problems in crypto, trust.
I mean, it's a huge issue. So their strategy is to use local influencers, local ambassadors, to build what they're calling a real human network. The idea is pretty simple, really. Put a friendly, familiar face on this super complex technology to make it feel less scary and more like a community you want to be a part of.
And this is how they're getting people in the door. It's a really interesting strategy. Instead of saying, hey, give us your money to invest, they're offering a way for you to earn free crypto tokens just by using your phone. You sign up, you get tokens. You're for a friend, you get more tokens. The whole point is to build this huge community, they claim it's over 3.7 million users, by taking away that initial fear of losing your own cash. The big question, of course, is whether these free tokens will ever actually be worth anything in the real world.
And that really brings us back to the most important question, doesn't it? When you see a new platform like this, promising free crypto and huge growth, how do you know? How can you tell if it's a real opportunity or if it's just another big risk waiting to happen?
So we've looked at the scams, we've looked at the laws, we've even looked at some of the new players. At the end of the day, the decision to get involved with crypto, well, that's completely up to you. So let's just quickly summarize everything we've talked about to help you make that choice.
Okay, so here's what you really need to remember. First, the risk is incredibly high. You could lose everything, either because the market crashes or because you get scammed. It's very real. Second, there is zero government protection. Unlike money in a bank, if your crypto is gone, it's gone for good. Third, it's taxed heavily. Any profits you make get hit with a flat 30% tax. But fourth, it is legal. You have the right to trade. And finally, and this is the most important one, you are on your own. The responsibility to do your own research, to check if a platform is legit, to understand all the risks, that is 100% on you.
So when you look at the world of crypto in India today, you can really see it as a battleground. On one side, you have knowledge, doing your research, being careful, making informed decisions. And on the other side, you have greed, that powerful, powerful temptation of getting rich quick. The choice you make between knowledge and greed will ultimately determine your outcome. Thanks for watching.